Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker, and we've gotten to the end of another work week. It is Focus Friday, and we'll spend a few minutes together today talking about focus and the importance of focus, what focus really is, what focus can do for us, and how we can expand our focus and use it as a tool that will help us to reach our goals and to enjoy the process a little bit as well. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let me bring up my notes because there was quite a bit that I found in my research as I was reading and looking at focus over the last couple days. Hope the lighting is okay. I didn't think to turn it on, so give me just a second to light up the room a little bit, and we will jump right in and talk about focus. Oh, that's better. Although I am pretty shiny. Just did my facial, and I don't think everything has synced in very well yet. I'm glowing beyond glowing. I'm shiny. That's not so good, but that's okay. Focus. Let's get started. When I talk about focus, what I mean is we usually hear about the importance of or the ability to multitask, do lots of things at a time, and we take a lot of pride in that. Well, I've stepped back from that, and I really believe that we do things better, better quality when we're focused in, and we're more likely to accomplish our goals if we're really, really clear and focused on what it is that we're trying to do. So, focus can increase your productivity, and it reduces your distractions, and the overall effectiveness and quality of what it is that you're doing improves if you're honed in, if you're focused. When you're focused on a task, you're saying yes to that thing in that moment, and you're basically saying no to everything else. And that's the part that kind of, I think, throws people off. But it's important that you realize that when you're focused in on something, you've got that single thought, that single task, that single thing has your attention, and everything else you're saying no to for the moment, so that you can put everything that you have into that task and really give it your all. So just thinking about giving something your all versus trying to juggle multiple things at a time sounds reasonable to me, that you're going to do a better job at that thing if all of your energy, your focus, everything is going into that. So that's what we're talking about. And how do we do that? First of all, we've got to get really clear about what that thing should be. What is it that you're wanting to accomplish? What is it that's important to you? Identify that. Get really, really clear about not only what it is, but why it is. Because things are going to pop up. There are lots of things that we could put our energy into at any point in time. So you have to get clear and think about what those things are, and then you prioritize. So I've got a list of 10 things I'd like to get done over the next couple of months, as an example. But right now, what's the most important thing? And you actually want to go through the exercise of ranking them. And while you're doing thing number one, you're letting 2 through 10 rest. You're going to get to them, and you're going to get to them a lot sooner. So just don't feel like you, for some people it gets uncomfortable because it's like, well, I've got all this other stuff that needs my attention too. You're going to get to those things a lot faster and have a lot more energy, and the likelihood of doing those things well. Also, if you start to knock your list down one thing at a time, and it may be, as you move throughout the day, you're giving some attention to this, and later on you're giving some attention to that. But while you're working on option one, focus and work only on option one. And you'll get to 2, 3, all the way through 10, but single thread the mind and put everything into that one objective for a period of time, and you're going to do a better job, and you'll likely get through it much quicker. So get clear about your goals and then prioritize those and focus in on the one. And then you need a good environment, an environment that you can be successful in. So depending on what that goal is, you determine what that environment is. You have to know yourself. You have to know what type of space you're most productive in. And then you have to create that. And that's where you want to go when it's time to focus and really get work done. So, what is that environment? For me, um, I know I'm going to do this 5 days a week. Most days it's at 7:15 in the morning. So what does my environment look like? I need the devices. So I've got 3 devices in front of me so that I'm live on all the different social media outlets at once. I invested in a quality microphone because what my laptop was doing was just okay, but I could do better. I've grabbed some lighting. I've got a comfortable chair. I have the devices um, in holders that put them in the right place so I can kind of span from here. And at any point in time, depending on where you're watching me, I can make eye contact. I've got the lighting around me so I'm not in the dark. My room is really clean and comfortable, and it has the things that I really like around me. My vision board is right there. I've got some glittery pretty things behind me and in front of me because it's an environment that I use to come into and to relax and to be productive. There's other rooms in my house that I could work in, but I wouldn't be as focused. Good morning, Alicia. I wouldn't have the time and the focus because people would be walking by. There's nobody here but me. My family knows that when I'm in this space, I'm working, and it's rare that the door opens because they know this is my place to dig in and get stuff done. So think about where and how you're most productive. What type of space do you need to be in? What items do you need around you in order to accomplish what it is that you're working on? And then create that space for yourself and keep it set up. I rarely, unless I'm having a very, very long day, it's rare that I have to do anything other than push the button that says go live first thing in the morning. Because I do get up early to do this. So I set everything up the night before. And then I come in when I remember, turn the lights on. I forgot this morning. Turn the lights on and then just push on each device, go live. And I'm ready to go. I've thought through the night before at least an outline of what I want to talk about so I don't get lost in my own thoughts. It's rare that I get through my whole outline because things come up and I allow for the flow to happen and the authenticity to happen. I don't want to just read you guys some notes that I wrote. That would be pretty boring. But having that outline helps me to stay on task. And if there's really important things that I want to share, I make sure I've got those bold in front of me so I don't forget to say them. And so I create the environment for me to be as successful as possible every day. And you guys can do the same thing. It may not have anything to do with going live on social media. That's just my example. But whatever works for you, think about what it is you want to accomplish today, and then make sure you have an environment that's conducive for you to be successful in that. And then if you can create an environment that kind of stays ready for you and you don't have to do a lot of prep every time you're ready to get to work, then that's even better. And that's why I set my office up the way that I did. And I minimize the distractions and I just get in. Practicing mindfulness can help as well with focus. If you can learn to somebody on social media, I'm going to be successful in getting $10. Best of luck to you. So the other thing is practicing mindfulness. If you can extend the amount of time that you're able to just get into your head, get clear, get quiet, relax into yourself, and allow that brain to really relax. Allow your body to all come into tune with itself and get into a place where you're really ready to be productive. All the thoughts that are going on, you're able to settle those down and get your mind in a peaceful space, and then you're ready to go to work. So engaging in those mindfulness exercises or deep breathing or journaling, whatever it takes to quiet your mind, it's important to learn how to do that, because sometimes the environment around you can be a little distracting. It can be a little crazy, or maybe the environment that you just came from. There's lots of thoughts going on in your head, and now you've got this thing you need to hone in on. It's hard to do that when the brain is all over the place. But we can teach our brains to calm down. We can learn how to take some deep breaths and relax ourselves. And despite what's going on externally, get ourselves mentally ready to be productive. And mindfulness will really help you. And when you start to practice that, the thoughts are going to come, and don't fight with them. Just realize that they're there and let them pass. Just let them pass you by. The next thought comes, recognize that it's there, let it pass you by. Where we get in trouble with trying to practice mindfulness is we are likely to get frustrated because we think it's going to be a place where there's no thoughts and the brain is just going to be completely shut down. We're rarely without thought. So they come up, but we just let them pass us by and we don't get distracted by them. And before you know it, that quiet time and the ability to stay in that state will get longer and longer and longer. So if it's just a couple of minutes right now, that's okay. Just practice a couple of minutes a day. And then after a little bit, try 4 minutes, try 5 minutes, and just keep expanding the time that you can sit with yourself in quiet and deep breathe and relax your mind. And if that just seems like too much, pick up a pen and paper and journal. Just write everything that comes up. It's just free form writing. Everything that comes to your mind, just write it down, write it down, write it down, write it down, and just kind of allow yourself to empty. And then you've purged all of that energy out and you're ready to focus in on the task at hand. All right. So we talked about setting clear goals. We talked about prioritizing the task so that you know what you're going to do first, what you're going to do next, and you can stick to your plan, creating an environment that's conducive for you to work and to be successful, and then practicing mindfulness so that you've got the external ready to go when you set up your environment, and then the mindfulness gets you internally ready to go. And then you want to use another thing that's been really helpful for me, because I'm building this business, but I also have a career in corporate America that's very, very busy and demanding. So for me, a technique that has really helped me kind of stay on top of all those things as well as manage my personal life is time blocking. I set up time throughout my whole day where I know what I'm going to be focused on during that block of time. So I blocked off on my calendar from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. not available, because that's my time where I have to get myself mentally ready. That's my time that I'm going to come here and I'm going to do my lives. And after I finish my live, I like to have a little bit of time just to, take it all in. Maybe take some notes of things I want to do differently, or maybe there was something I didn't say. I respond to comments and things like that. And then I start my work day at the 9 to 5 around 8 a.m., 9 to 5, 8 a.m. But the reason I do that is because I have an international team. And so even though it's 6, 7 o'clock in the morning for me, it may be almost 6, 7 p.m. for them. And so I have to protect that time. Otherwise, I'd be working around the clock for the day job and I'd never have time to do things for myself. So I block off that morning time for preparation for me and for doing my lives. And then I've got my, the day part is pretty easy because my meetings are when they are. But there's also some time that I block out just to step back and to relax a little bit, or to take care of something I need to do for myself. I block off time in my day for me to get some other stuff done. Otherwise, again, I'm just working, 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 working. I don't have time to think. I don't have time to recharge my battery. I don't have time to get other things that are important done. So time blocking, let's say you're a writer. In the mornings, everybody needs to get up and have that time to just prepare for your day. So that's your first block of time. Anytime between 8 and 5, that's kind of managed for us because we've sold that time, a lot of us, to a company and we've got work to do. At the end of my day, I spend time doing one-on-one conversations with clients or doing little introduction calls with potential clients. I have responsibilities at my church. So when I have rehearsals on Tuesday night, that's blocked off so that I don't accidentally or someone didn't get my calendar and block that time. It's already dedicated to something. On Thursdays, for a long time, I've had Bible study with my aunt and some friends. So that time's blocked off. So time blocking allows you first, before you fill in all the have tos, to protect the time that you want to devote to certain tasks. So have your calendar, virtual or a physical calendar, and just look at your day and go, these are the things that I want to get accomplished and when. And you block those off and you protect that time first. And then the rest of your calendar is dedicated to the time that we've sold to our employers or whatever else it is that you need to get done. And it helps you to feel more organized. It keeps you from forgetting things that are important for you to get done. And it also helps you to really see where you're spending your time. You may notice that 80% of my week was spent doing this, but I said that this thing over here was what was important for me to get done this week. I've hardly put any time into that. So it allows you to evaluate how you're spending your time and to see if you're spending it in a way that aligns with what it is, the goals that you have set for yourself. So time blocking can be helpful in a number of ways. It's time where you're dedicated and focused for a period of time on particular things, and it'll really help you stay on task. And then you have to manage your energy levels. I've talked about this before. For me, I'm high energy first thing in the morning. I'm high energy later in the day, but midday, not so much. Somewhere between 2 and 4, I'm exhausted. And that's because I get up early and I have a tendency to be up a little late. So midday, I know I'm not nearly as productive. Fortunately, I've been on my job and with my company, the day job, for 23 years. So I've built up respect and rapport and a relation and a reputation where they know if I've got a task, if I've got stuff that I need to get done, I'm going to get it done. So I can walk away from the job. And if I need a nap in the middle of the day, I'm going to take it because I know me. And I know that if I give myself that 15, 20, 30 minutes to step away, and I may not even nap, I may just rest for a little bit. But I know when I've hit a wall and my brain is not working as well and I'm not as productive. So I step back. If you don't have that type of flexibility in your schedule, then you've got to plan differently. If you know you have a tendency in the middle of the day, as an example, to get tired, then maybe you need to sleep a little bit later, go to bed a little bit earlier so that you can start to reserve some energy for that time of the day. But the best thing to do, because you would know that about yourself, is to make sure that those tasks that take a lot of focus, a lot of energy, that you're doing those earlier. Don't save those for the time of the day when you're less focused and when your energy level is lower. Be smart about how you're planning out your day, and in being smart, you have to incorporate you and how you best work, the environment that you best work in, and how you feel throughout your day. If you just pay attention, you'll see the pattern. We repeat the same patterns over and over again, and I'm just naturally tired around that block of time. So that block of time, I'm definitely not going to do something that's going to take a lot of concentration, a lot of reading, a lot of focus, because I'm more likely to fall asleep trying to get it done, or to just bumble through it and not do it at the same level that I would if I wasn't feeling that way. So if there's some tasks I can do that's going to get me up and moving around, those would be better for me to do during that time, because that gets the energy flowing again and gets the brain kicked in. But I can't sit and read and be locked in between 2 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because the brain's just not at its best during that time. So know yourself that well so that you can make good decisions. And then you want to take regular breaks. One of the things that we have a tendency to do is to just work, 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 work. And we sometimes get praised for that, but when you stop and you really think about it, if you don't allow yourself mental breaks, it's going to have that same effect. your productivity starts to go down. You start to lose focus. You may get a little bit easily frustrated as the day goes on. So it's important to just, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, to get up, walk away from your desk, get into a different environment and allow the brain to just recalibrate and re-energize and get ready to get back into it. The way my day works, other people are scheduling meetings with me all the time during the workday. So if I'm not careful, if I don't, that's why I use time blocking for that too. I'll block off. If I notice that there quite a few meetings have popped up, then I'll go through and mark myself unavailable, or even call it me time, whatever, so that another meeting doesn't get slammed right behind the next one. Sometimes there have been days where from 7 o'clock in the morning until almost 4 in the evening, there haven't been any breaks. It's just meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. And my husband would even slide food into me because I didn't have time to do all the things that I'm talking to you about now. And I'm not that productive that way. I have a lot of meetings, I have a lot of conversations, but that's busy. That's not necessarily productive, getting the things done that need to be done. So I had to take control of my calendar. I had a really good manager, and I talked to him about that, and he said, take your time back. Take control of your time back and block off some time. Block off some time for you to stop and think and plan. Because if we're not careful, we'll just go, 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 meet, 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 meet. And the brain is not thinking about all the information that we're taking in and organizing it in a way and using it to make good decisions. We just jump from one meeting to the next meeting. And sometimes all those meetings are different topics. So they're not even flowing together, so that I'm taking what I've just gathered from this one into the next one, context switching from one to the other. And so if we're not careful and if we don't take control of our schedules, the day will be up. We've talked to a lot of people, we've had a lot of meetings, but we haven't accomplished any of the things that we set out to get done. And so that's why time blocking and taking breaks and building those breaks into your schedule can really help you build a fence around your day, and build in some time for you so that you're making good use of your day and not just jumping from one thing to the next. So taking those small breaks can really, really, really help you get there. And then you want to make sure you're minimizing distractions. As much as I love you guys and as much as I love connecting, I have to put my devices away when I'm working, after this. So I'm device heavy in the morning because it's live time, but then I slide into my corporate job. So I have to make a conscious decision not to look at the comments and things that are coming in until I've got a break later in the day or I finished up my workday. Otherwise, I'm jumping back and forth between the two worlds, and neither one of them is getting the attention that it needs. So we just have to make conscious decisions about things like that so that we are doing the best that we can all the time. So I have to minimize the distractions. The devices go off. Social media, I've got time built for that. It doesn't happen all day long. Could you imagine? Otherwise, I just wouldn't get my day job done. And I talked about minimizing distractions. I'm in a room with the door closed where my family is accustomed to me being when I'm locked in and I'm really working. So this is my space and folks aren't coming in and out. There's a TV back there, but it hadn't been on in probably 6 months. I never even turned that thing on. So it really helps me to minimize those distractions. So when I'm in here, I can lock in and get things done. I've already talked about practicing single tasking versus multitasking, one thing at a time. You'll get more done in the long run. It feels like if I'm doing 3 or 4 things, I'm going to get a lot more done. But the fact of the matter is, it takes you longer to get through each one of them than if you were just focused on the one. And so it's better, one task at a time. And we talked about that. And then you want to keep yourself as healthy as possible. Self-care is so important because we're juggling so many things all the time. So are you getting up and having a good breakfast? Are you getting any exercise in? Do you get outside and get a little sunlight? Are you doing things to manage your stress and just step away from the hustle and bustle throughout your day? that will help you. The better you feel within your body, the better you're taking care of yourself, the better shape you're in to accomplish the things that you have set out to accomplish. And you want to take your steps. And I talk about this all the time. I actually I've got on Amazon a goal setting workbook. And this next tip is really what that workbook is all about. Breaking your tasks down into smaller steps, because large tasks, that's your big goal, that's your end goal, but that can be so overwhelming, and it can be so far off that it seems like you're never going to get there. So breaking it down into that big goal down into smaller steps, so that each day you're doing things that push you towards that end goal. If you do that, you can quantify your progress. You can see at any point in time how you're moving forward, and you build those celebrations in, so you continue to encourage yourself and see how things are going, and it just doesn't feel so overwhelming. You're focused on those little steps, and before you know it, you look up and you're almost there. And so it takes that the overwhelm of these big tasks, it breaks them down, makes them bite sized and something that you can tackle every day. So I highly, highly recommend that. And then things that are not essential, delegate them. You want to become a good delegator. Is there, because a lot of us, especially type A personalities, depending on what's going on, a lot of times with us as women, we're just trying to do it all. If I can take care of everything at home, I feel good as a wife. If I can take care of all this stuff in corporate America and prove that women can do it too, I feel good as an employee. If I can build this big $1 million business, then I feel good as an individual and an entrepreneur. And before you know it, we've got so many things that we're trying to put our hands around that there's something consistently that's falling. So take a look at the things that need to be done. And if you don't absolutely have to be the one to do it, no one else can come and sit in this chair and do my live. Otherwise, it's not mine, right? So this I have to do as long as this is important to me and I want to stay in this space. But guess what? It's Friday. And over the next couple of hours, someone will be here that will clean my house while I'm transitioning from the M3 work and sliding into the day job. I can't do everything. And so I've delegated that task. Of course, we've got plenty to do throughout the day, throughout the week. But on Friday, somebody comes and they do the deep cleaning. They're going to mop, they're going to dust, they're going to make sure that the overall cleanliness is done and things are organized. And then all me and my husband have to do is kind of keep up throughout the week until she's going to be back and do her thing. So it takes a load off. So that's just one example. There's some things that I don't do anymore than my husband is more likely to do, or I've got a 19-year-old son he takes care of. We've had to split things up, and I've had to look at my career. I've had to look at the business that I'm building. I had to look at taking care of me first and foremost, and then my responsibilities with my family and with my home, and go, what are the things that I absolutely have to do? I'm going to spend the time with my husband. I can't substitute, for things like this and things like that. Your FaceTime with people that are important. But there's little things along the way that need to get done that it's not essential that you be the person that do it. When you identify those things, figure out a way to delegate. It's easier at work, right? If we're in a management position or something like that at work, we can see how we can delegate. And, this person's going to do that and pass those tasks around. And then you have the things that you have to do and in driving the whole team. But think about the same way in your personal life. What are the things that absolutely need to be me versus things that I can delegate to somebody else, and give yourself some of your time and your energy back. So where you can delegate, do it. And then you want to spend time with you. You want to spend time learning to the research that I did called it deep work, practice deep work. And by deep work, it's talking about a state of intense focus and concentration on a single task for an extended period of time. So that's just more setting aside the time and blocking and really going in and focusing and doing that thing and only that thing. When you allow yourself that, you'll be amazed at the progress that you make. You also may want to invest in some productivity tools. All of our phones and laptops and things like that, they come with calendars and um, alarms and things like that you can take advantage of. Um, you can track your progress on in particular software. So just think about the things that you need to stay on task, and then give yourself the gift of those things, and do that level of planning. And then it will help you get disciplined. You want to cultivate discipline. What do I mean by cultivate discipline? You want to build your plan, spend real good time up front on crafting your plan. But at that point, it's just words on the paper until you put the energy behind them, the effort behind them. You actually have to hit go and start to do the work. And there is going to be times where you just flat out don't feel like it. That's why it's important to know why you're doing what it is you're doing, because you need something to push you over the edge when you have a hard time going. This is something that's really important to me. I haven't felt well all week. I can barely hear out of this ear because I'm so congested. But because this is important to me, I can get up and pull myself together enough to get it done. And after this, I'm going to take my laptop and I'm going to go lay down. This is my personal laptop, but my work laptop, because I'm remote today, I'm going to do a lot of that work from my bed because I don't feel well. I can prop up my laptop, I can log in, and I can do the things that I need to do. And so you've got to give yourself that good self-care and the discipline and the consistency that's required to accomplish what it is that you need to do. I know that if I don't go to work today, that there's some important stuff that's not going to happen, and then that's going to carry into Monday, and now I'm behind the eight ball all week. I'm not so sick that I can't work. If I was, I don't have a problem taking the day off. I actually was off earlier in the week because I really didn't feel very well. But I know that there's some key things that I want to get done. I'll get those done, and I'll evaluate throughout the day, how am I feeling? Do I have the energy to keep going, or is it time to shut down for the week and get some rest? So really be disciplined, be consistent, and also be tapped into you so that you know what it is that you need to be successful, to accomplish the things that you have set out to accomplish. So we've got quite a list for today. I'll run down the summary really quickly so that if you came in later, you hear what we've been talking about is how we can improve our focus, and that in doing so, our productivity is better, we're less distracted, and overall we're more effective. And we started off by talking about setting clear goals, and then prioritizing the task that we need to do in order to hit those goals, making sure that you've created a work environment for yourself so that you can be successful and not distracted. Practice mindfulness so that you get in the habit of expanding your focus and being able to really hone in on a task. Time blocking, I spent quite a bit of time talking about that, and using your calendar as an aid to help you be successful and make sure you're doing the things that you need to do each day. Managing your energy levels, knowing when your energy is high and when it's low, that natural pattern. Not, just an off day. Like today, my energy may stay kind of here just because I don't feel well. But typically, it's high in the mornings and in the later day, and it's low from 2 to 4, somewhere around in there. So I'm not going to do things that require deep thinking and thought and reading and focus during that 2 to 4 time, because I know I'm not at my best at that time. I'm going to do it earlier or later in the day. So managing your energy levels, knowing when you're most productive, and then us aligning your schedule to those levels. Taking regular breaks so that you can recharge, and minimizing digital distractions. Practicing single tasking, doing one thing at a time so that you make sure you do it to the best of your ability, maintaining your health and good self care, breaking those big tasks down into small tasks so that you can keep accomplishing and working towards those larger goals, and then eliminating or delegating those non-essential tasks. If there's things that you can have other people do, you may, like I used the example of hiring someone to clean the house. I have to pay for that, but my time is more valuable than what I pay her to come in and do that. It frees me up to do other things. So it's a decision. That delegation makes my life a little bit easier. Practicing that deep work and intense focus and concentration on a single task for a period of time. That's what this whole conversation is about. Using productivity tools. The basics would be your calendar and maybe alarms to help you stay on task, but there's other things that you can use as well to track your progress. And then you want to keep cultivating your discipline and being consistent. When you don't feel like it, what are you going to hang on to? What can you pull out of your bag that will help you to keep going even when you don't feel like it? And that's what cultivating discipline and consistency will take you farther towards your goals than anything else. Being focused, being disciplined, and putting the actions behind the things that you say you want to accomplish day in and day out. Have your list, and each day do a couple things on that list that's moving you towards those goals. Even if it's just one thing, you're one step closer. So it's important that you realize that those small steps, they seem and they feel small, but they add up. So don't miss that opportunity. So let's see. Quite a few people have said hello this morning. um, Hi, Mother. Aromatic Visions LLC. That's my mom and her fabulous candle business. Maria says, protect our time. Yes, that time blocking will really help you protect your time, Maria. It's important. Good morning, Maisha. Maria is with us from Argentina. She says, thank you, Cassandra, for your concepts. They are really interesting. Thank you, Maria, for joining in. I appreciate you and your feedback. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? I see Alicia. I see Sonia. I'm not sure who's still with me from TikTok because that's always scrolling. But welcome, everybody. Someone says, good morning, everyone. What a beautiful way to start this Friday. Thank you, Cassandra. Today is one of those days I needed blocks in my schedule. Going to squeeze in breaks in there. Great tips. I am so glad to hear that. I'm not sure if that's Olu or if that's who else shows up sometimes as LinkedIn user, Grace. So you may want to drop your name there, whoever just dropped that comment, because I can't tell. It just says LinkedIn user. I can't tell who it is, but I'm glad to hear that. And y'all, we have to give ourselves that right. We have to protect our time and build in those little breaks in your day. If you're like me and your schedule can get controlled by other people. Oh, it's Martha. Thank you, Martha. And there's other people that are consistently scheduling meetings either for you or with you. You've got to block out times where you can just step back and have some breathing room. Otherwise, before you know it, your whole day is gone, and you haven't had any time to do the things that are important to you. Good morning, Tiffany from Durham, North Carolina. Good morning, Jay. Thanks for joining on TikTok. It has been great hanging out with you guys today. I won't say this morning because we've got people, as you can hear, tuning in from all over the world. So for some of you, it's good morning. For some of you, it's good afternoon. For some of you, your day is coming to an end and it's good evening. But wherever you are, whatever time it is, my prayer is that it's good. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good night. Make it good and realize that you control how good it is. You might not be able to control everything that's going on around you, but you can control how you're processing it and how you're experiencing it, how you're responding to it. So make it good. You have gotten through another work week. Focus, focus, focus on you and what it is that you want to accomplish, and break those things down into little steps that you can work on every single day. And before you know it, you will get there. I believe in you. I know it works. I've done it for myself. If you guys want to talk to me, drop me a DM, and I'll send you my schedule, so that we can figure out a time when we can get together. I talk to people all the time about getting clear about their goals. And I've got the workbook that I mentioned earlier on Amazon. It's the M3 Goal Setting Workbook. It explains the program and what good goals are in the front. And then you've got plenty of space to dream first. What does your life look like if things are aligned exactly the way you would like them to be? And then how do we take those dreams and build those big goals? And then start to break those down from the big things you're going to do over a year to what you'll do each quarter, each month, each week, all the way down to the daily tasks that you'll work on to get you there. So if you struggle with goal setting, if you struggle with believing that you can accomplish the things that you want, or that you deserve the things that you want, that's what I'm here for. I'm a life coach, and my focus is on mindset, helping you go within and getting the things done, hearing that automatic messaging that's playing in your head. If we have to work on that, I'm here to help. But once that messaging is resolved, and you believe in you and you know your value, now it's time to get to work. We've got to build a plan and see what your life looks like, the life that you want. How does that look? And once we know that, then it gets easy. It's just a matter of mapping out the things that you're going to do to get there, and you being committed and consistent to doing the work to accomplish those goals. I'm here to help. DM me, reach out however you'd like, and we can discuss how I might be able to help you generate that plan and accomplish the goals that you have set out for yourself. Until I will not be back on until Monday. I take the weekends off. So Monday at 12 noon is Mindset Monday. And we'll talk more about some of the stuff that I just said. We really dig in on the mindset every Monday. So see you guys back here Monday at noon Central on Mindset Monday. And until then, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And take care of yourself. Take good care of yourself and believe in you. You deserve the best and that this life has to offer. So you need to believe that and walk in that knowing. Until then, I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.